One of the most effective ways for you to achieve a goal, whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, even financially, is you must have an idea. You must have an idea as to what it is you want to achieve. And once you have that idea, then you create the goal. My goal is to become better. My goal is to hit a certain weight goal with physically. My goal is to be at more peace mentally. My goal is to understand my own thought processes emotionally. My goal is to build a better relationship with God or your higher power. My goal is to build more financial stability, financial security, financially. Whatever it is your goal is it must first begin with a thought. And once you have the thought, then you create the goal. My goal is X. And then once you create the goal, then you have to turn that goal into small actionable steps. And it is really as simple as that. Once you have, depending on the scale of your goal, of course it may take longer than others. But the best way to achieve anything is to break down your entire goal into small actionable steps. What can I do today? If you can put one foot in front of the other today, and you can learn from your mistakes that you will make today, because you will make mistakes as you continue and strive to move forward. When tomorrow comes, you will be one foot further than you were yesterday. And when tomorrow comes, if you can again learn from yesterday's mistakes and you don't implement those same mistakes into your tomorrows, when you are able to find a way to learn from your mistakes, you will become so much closer to your goal than you will ever possibly realize. Why? Because again, all you're doing is taking one step at a time. If you are not moving, you cannot expect you to reach your goal, right? If you're staying still, you cannot expect to move forward. But if you are able to find the ability, the strength, the courage, the faith to put one foot in front of the other, guess what? You are moving forward. You are making progress. No matter how small or how big these steps are, you are moving forward. That's all it takes. There is two things about life. That is one, we stay on the course that we are currently on in hopes that it will lead us to something good. Then there is path number two. We change the course of our direction in hopes that it will lead us to something good. The difference between path number one and path number two is our attitude while we are on this path. Now, path number one, we have to self-reflect off of where we currently are. Do we like where we are at? Do we like the actions we are taking? Do we like the direction we are going? Do we like our behaviors? Do we like ourselves? Do we love ourselves with where we currently are? If not, well, consider path number two. You heed towards the path that you are unfamiliar with. It's new, it's different. It is the path that is going to make you most uncomfortable. Why? Because path number one, when you are in self-doubt, you are drowning, you are going through so much turmoil. You have all of these negative things happening. Path number one, the path that you are currently on, sure, it may lead to something good. But will it is the question. Then there is path number two. We change the course of our direction. We try something new, we try something different in hopes that it will lead to something good. Now, the thing I hope I can get across is many of us stay on one path. We start this journey and we stay on it. Very few will change, very few will self-reflect and correct certain behaviors, improve certain behaviors, thought patterns. When something happens, how are you reacting? When a life event arises, how are you in that moment? Can you operate in the midst of chaos? Can you operate when you are under so much pressure? In moments when life is throwing you so much stress, so much agony, so much pain, so much distress, those are the moments that can lead us to something good. But how? While we are in the midst of going through so much pain, or while we are in the midst of seeing others go through so much pain, it is really hard for us to see beyond that. Why is that? It is because we are looking so much at the picture up close. We cannot take a step back. Why is that? The thing about life that I have learned is many of us stay on path number one. We start this journey and we stay on this journey. We stay with what we are familiar with. We stay with what we are used to. Very, very few will try change. And very, very few will create change. The thing I want you to know is the difference between those of you who feel like you are drowning, those of you that feel lost, those of you that feel no sense of hope. How can you improve that? I know what it is like to be in this tunnel that there is no light. There is no hope. Nothing ever could get better. I know what that is like. Being diagnosed at 2.5 years old with a progressive disability. Not just a disability, but a progressive disability. Progressive meaning as time goes on, my disability worsens. At such a young age, going in and out of the hospital, having surgeries, infections, more surgeries because of those infections, having an pneumonia, collapsed lungs because my immune system is not the strongest because, again, my disability is progressive. Going through so much pain, as you can imagine, so much turmoil, turbulence, times of stress. Moments like that, it is really hard to see, let alone believe, that there is a light at the end of this tunnel. I know what that moment feels like. There was a time in my life where I was drowning. And I didn't know how to swim. This life experience of mine had caused me to go through a severe mental breakdown. I responded with so much anger, frustration, built up emotions that had landed me in the hospital. Having the hospital sedate me for several days. I was asleep. Running test after test, trying to see what is going on, what is happening. There was no light at the end of the tunnel when I was in the midst of those moments, of that moment in particular. Why did that moment occur? Why did I go through what I went through? Because I didn't know how to manage my emotions. I didn't know the importance on improving one's emotions. I didn't know the importance of it. So how did I get through it? It took a lot. There was so much behind the scenes, so much work that I had to put in behind the scenes to get to where I am at. But I can tell you this. When you are in pure desperation, the only way for hope to be on the other side of what it is you are going through You have to keep pushing. You have to keep going. You have to keep enduring through what it is you are going through. You have to persevere. Where I am isn't where I always will be. How can you get to that next step? When you are in this tunnel, and again, there is no light at the end of the tunnel, all you have to do is focus on this. Can you see your next step? And when the answer is yes, that's all you have to focus on. Continue to put one foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other. Don't think about the entire process. Don't think about the entire journey or what it will take for you to get through what it is you are going through. Just focus one step at a time. Progress is progress, no matter how small. But the most important thing for you, those are the tools that you need to get through what it is you are going through. Endurance, faith, perseverance, courage. Because you are going to be uncomfortable. But that is where your growth lies, in being uncomfortable. It isn't easy. It's not supposed to. But it is our struggles that isn't so much there to hinder us or become a hindrance to us. It is in the moments of struggle that develop our sense of character. It brings us strength. It gives us the ability to have what nobody else can have, which is the ability to resonate with what it is somebody else is going through, to have compassion, being able to empathize what others are going through, because you are familiar with what it is they are going through. These are the tools you need to get through and overcome what it is you are currently going through. But the big question, the big thing that a large majority of us miss is, okay, I have all the tools, but I don't have the vision. I don't have the vision, the ability to let alone even comprehend what light even is. Because I have been going through this dark tunnel for so long. What is this light you speak of? I will tell you. The light at the end of the tunnel, I want you to ask yourself this, with where you currently are in the moment. If you are surrounded in pure desperation, there is no hope with what you are going through. You are trapped in so much darkness. Again, you see no light around you. I want you to ask yourself this one question. Imagine one day if, and fill in the blank. Imagine one day if there is something good that can come out of this. Imagine one day if I can get through this. Imagine one day if I can become stronger. Imagine one day if everything really will be okay. Imagine one day if I will make it. Again, fill in the blank. Imagine one day if. What is the answer you came up with? Now you have a vision. Now all you have to do is utilize the tools that you have with you right now. Utilize the tools that you have within you to reach that next step. You have the vision. Imagine one day if I really can get through this. Imagine one day if I really can get to that next destination. Imagine one day if I really can be happy. Imagine one day if I really can do the impossible. You have the vision. Now utilize the tools that you have with where you currently are. When you have this vision, don't think that the tools you need to get to that destination, to reach that next step, don't think that you do not have the tools to get to that step. As you continue to, again, endure, persevere, have faith during your journey, during your process, more tools will start to arise. But how can that happen? Again, you have to put one step in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. You have to utilize what you have with where you are. And as you, again, continue to go on this journey, as you continue to move forward, you will learn more things along the way. But I can promise you one thing. If you do not utilize the tools that you have, the tools to help you overcome what it is you are going through, the tools that ultimately can lead you to something good, then you will always remain where you are. So again, in life, there are two paths. That is path number one. We stay on the course that we are currently on in hopes that it will lead us to something good. And then there's path number two. We change the course of our direction in hopes that it will lead to something good. Path number one is the one that has very little to no growth. Why? Because you are comfortable. You are comfortable on the path that you are on. And I'm not saying that is necessarily a bad thing. But if you are one who doesn't just want the good, you want the great, you want to experience the great, imagine one day if you just may want to take path number two. Because again, path number two, it's uncomfortable. It's not easy. But you are built different. You can do it. I believe in you.